The midday sun beat down on the bustling harbor. Marcus surveyed his domain. Ships laden with goods from distant lands lined the quays. His ships, his wealth, his power. Carthage was a city built on trade, and Marcus was its undisputed master. He had inherited his father's ambition along with his fleet. A hard man, his father. He had taught Marcus that fortune favored the bold, but only those who controlled their destiny. Emotions were weakness, discipline was strength, control was everything. Marcus strode through the city, his presence commanding respect tinged with fear. Merchants bowed low. Dock workers scurried out of his path. He was a man apart, set aside by his wealth and the chilling aura of control he projected. Loneliness was an unwelcome companion, but a familiar one. He climbed the steps to his villa, a palace of cool mosaics and whispering fountains. It was a fortress against the chaos of the world he sought to master. Yet behind the carefully constructed facade of control, a seed of unease took root. What if control was an illusion? What if loss, like a thief in the night, could rob him of everything? Gold, the lifeblood of empires and the currency of ambition. Marcus's wealth was legendary, his coffers overflowing with the spoils of 1,000 voyages. His ships sailed to the distant shores of Iberia, bringing back silver and tin. They braved the treacherous currents of the Pillars of Hercules to trade for amber and furs from the barbarian lands. Every transaction, every deal, was meticulously recorded in his ledgers. Marcus believed in order, in the reassuring rhythm of profit and loss. His father's words echoed in his mind. A man's worth is measured by what he controls, and Marcus controlled it all. The ships, the cargo, the very lives of those who served him. Yet, beneath the polished veneer of success, a gnawing emptiness lingered. Was this all there was? The endless pursuit of wealth? The cold calculation of every decision? He ruled his empire like a king, yet he felt like a prisoner within its gilded cage. He stood on the balcony of his villa, gazing out at the city bathed in the golden light of sunset. Below him, he saw families laughing, lovers strolling hand in hand. Their lives, though less grand, seemed filled with a warmth and spontaneity he craved. Was this the price of control, he wondered, this gnawing sense of isolation? Fear was a constant companion, whispering in his ear, casting shadows on his carefully constructed world. Fear of loss, fear of failure. The fear that the empire he had built with ruthless efficiency could crumble like sand through his fingers. He had known loss. His mother, taken by a fever when he was just a boy. The memory of her gentle touch, her warm embrace, haunted his dreams. His father, stoic and unyielding, had offered no solace. He had only tightened his grip on Marcus, molding him in his own image. Control became his shield, his weapon against the chaos of the world. He controlled his emotions, his desires, even his fears. He buried them deep within, where they festered and grew, twisting into an unyielding need to dominate everything and everyone around him. He paced the mosaic floor of his study, his mind a whirlwind of anxieties. News had arrived that a rival merchant was amassing a fleet, challenging his dominance. A tremor of fear ran through him, quickly suppressed. He would crush this upstart, just as he had crushed all who dared to oppose him. He would show them the folly of challenging the iron grip of Marcus. Section 4. A burst of color in a monochrome world. Lysander was a force of nature, a whirlwind of creativity and passion. Where Marcus was controlled and calculating, Lysander was impulsive and free. His laughter echoed through the hushed halls of the villa, a jarring counterpoint to the silence Marcus cultivated. They had met by chance, a twist of fate orchestrated by one of Marcus's more discerning advisors. Lysander, a struggling artist, sought a patron. He had heard whispers of Marcus's wealth, his legendary patronage of the arts. But more than the gold, Lysander craved understanding, a kindred spirit who recognized the power of his art. Marcus had been initially dismissive. Art was an indulgence, a frivolous distraction from the serious business of trade and empire. Yet, something in Lysander's eyes, a fierce intensity that mirrored his own, gave him pause. He agreed to hear the young artist's proposal, if only to satisfy his own curiosity. Lysander spoke with the fiery passion of a man possessed, his words tumbling over each other in his haste to share his vision. He spoke of capturing the soul of Carthage on canvas, of immortalizing its bustling streets, its vibrant people, its very essence. He spoke of light and shadow, of color and form, of emotions given life on the canvas. Section 5. An uncharacteristic gamble. Marcus listened, his usual skepticism giving way to a grudging fascination. He had never met anyone like Lysander. The artist's passion was infectious, his energy boundless. He spoke of art as if it were a living thing, a force that could move mountains and shake the very foundations of the world. The idea of capturing the essence of Carthage intrigued him. He had spent his life building its wealth, securing its power. But what was Carthage beyond its ledgers and its warships? What did it look like through the eyes of an artist, a man who saw the world in shades of color instead of shades of gray? He knew he should dismiss Lysander, send him on his way with a few gold coins to silence his pleas. Art was a luxury, a distraction. Yet something in the artist's fervor resonated with a long dormant part of himself, a part that yearned for something more than the cold comfort of control. "Very well," he said at last, his voice betraying none of the turmoil within. "I will fund your project, but do not mistake generosity for weakness. I expect results, Lysander. Do not disappoint me." It was a gamble, he knew, this uncharacteristic leap of faith. But as he looked into the artist's grateful eyes, he couldn't shake the feeling that he had embarked on a journey far more perilous than any sea voyage.